How you doing, Olympia fans? This is IFBB Pro Lorenzo Orozco, and you're watching Muscle in the Morning.
Welcome to another episode of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, and I'm here to bring you all the latest news in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. It's Monday, July 22nd, 2014, and on today's show, Green vs. Heath, Battle of Vegas, Heath's new dynasty, Flex Lewis nail-biting victory, Buendia upsets men's physique lineup, and Juliana Malachary defeats DLB. All that and much, much more, only on Muscle in the Morning. The 50th anniversary of the Mr. Olympia weekend started off with a bang when sparks ignited at the press conference between reigning Mr. Olympia Phil Heath and Kai Greene. Although in the past we've seen some friendly banter between competitors at the pre-show media hype event, this time around things seemed a little different. Greene repeatedly interrupted Heath during most of his speaking opportunities, and even went as far as to yell some banter while Heath was dedicating this year's Olympia contest to the memory of his father. This heated verbal aggression spilled over into Friday night's men's prejudging, where we saw a truly angered Kai Greene nearly come to blows with a clearly lighthearted Heath during the comparison round. Whether or not the events were staged is anyone's guess, but by judging by the look on Heath's face, this is a beef between the two top men in the world that may never be extinguished. Phil Heath proved once again that on a bodybuilding stage, there's him and then there's everyone else. Even though Heath was better at last year's contest, a good enough version of himself is pretty hard damn to beat. The man they call the Gift has now put his name into the conversation, along with Cutler, Dorian Yates, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, and Lee Haney, as one of the only bodybuilders in history with 4 or more Olympia titles to their credit. And now he's firmly cemented himself as one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. At just 34 years of age, Heath has a chance to win a record-tying 8th Mr. Olympia title before he turns 40. And given the fact that his closest competitors are all significantly older than him, we could literally see the Gift dominate virtually uncontested for the next several years. For as much hype and fanfare as the open competition generated, the 212 division was by far more competitive of the two from top to bottom. Once all the dust settled and the smoke cleared, James Flex Lewis became the first athlete in the brief history of the 212 division to ever three-peat as champion. Lewis showed up ripped to the bone with classic lines, but way flatter than we've seen in the past. And this win wasn't quite a slam dunk like it was last year, as Eduardo Correa gave Flex all he could handle with oodles of mass and conditioning. No one has ever managed to come as close to Flex on the scorecards for these past 2 years, but with Correa pushing the champ to the brink, we could be in the midst of seeing the first true 212 division rivalry for years to come. If there was one division in the show that didn't play out quite as expected, it had to be men's physique. Congratulations go out to new men's physique champ, Jeremy Buendia, who narrowly edged out a ridiculously shredded Sadiq Hadzovic for the win. The storylines ran deep here, and perhaps one of the biggest shocks of the night came when last year's Olympia champ Mark Anthony dropped all the way to 6th. Pre-contest favorite Jason Poston looked impressive and earned himself a 3rd place finish, while Matt Acton and Steve Cook rounded out the top 5. Be sure to catch up on all the action and a recap of the heated events of the weekend on the next edition of Physique Star Radio with host Ian Lauer. The women's physique division lived up to its billing in what was a super exciting and emotionally charged competition. Unlike last year, the tides changed direction, and Brazilian bombshell Juliana Malachary snagged the win over reigning Miss Women's Physique Olympia champ and media darling Dana Lynn Bailey. This time around, the judges couldn't deny Malachary's magnificent muscular development and flawless presentation. And while Bailey, who finished 2nd, looked every bit as good as last year, she didn't have enough stuff to overcome the surging Malachary. Last year's 2nd place finisher, Tycee Coppett, looked about as good as she could be and was rewarded with the 3rd place spot. Be sure to stay tuned to Tuesday's Muscle in the Morning for more news and stories from this past weekend's 50th anniversary Olympia weekend. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. Check out ironmaglabs.com today. And for full quotes and Muscle in the Morning bonus features, join Muscle in the Morning's official Facebook page. I'm your host, Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook.